Welcome everybody to Key Business Connect. This podcast is where we connect businesses to businesses and provide lead generation. And this podcast is designed to showcase small and medium-sized businesses and also to bring on guests to talk about subjects of interest to small and medium-sized businesses. Today, I'm happy to welcome Claude Duke, the founder of Dukedom Studios, someone that I've known for many years actually, and through a lot of things that he's been going on. His website is dukedomstudios.com if anybody's interested. And he's got some really interesting projects. One of them he's done in the past is called the Beauty of Vancouver. And he worked on something called the Beauty of Cuba for a while. And now he's working on a great project called The Beauty of Mexico. Here's the book he did before, The Beauty of Vancouver, which I'm happy to have a copy. This is a desktop copy of a publication that he did many years ago, and it's still out there, and people are still using it quite a bit. So, Claude, maybe we can ask you to give us a early life and background on yourself and where you've been, how you got into music, publishing, and all the things that you do, and starting back in your own country. And it's going to be very interesting for people to hear.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm originally born in Chile in 1950, and mostly I immigrated to the United States in 1973, and now I'm gathering 50 years in America. And everything started with the inspiration of my mother. My mother had a great impact. How she gave me the freedom to do whatever I wanted as long as I'll be able to get graduated from high school.
Always the education, right?
Yeah, and she gave me my first guitar when I was 9 years old. I wanted to be a journalist, an architect, and but the thing is, when I decided to do what I wanted to do, which was architecture, there were a hundred places for 10,000 guys. So I started to do a little course on designing, metallic designing, and I discovered that I was doing my fashion designing. And it's something that I was inspired to do, but I saw all my life. I saw my mother putting things together with fashion because fashion is two fabrics with a seam in the middle. And that was the basic of putting things together. And that was the always for me has been the profound significance because when I was in school, uh, they taught us to whatever you put in a rectangle, whatever you put in that rectangle is your taste. So when I got that clear and I got tough on arts and so on, that was the basic for the rest of my life. Without going to school, I always did things just watching. I learned how to be a tailor just watching the people who used to help me with my designing. Music, well, I did 4 years of classical guitar, but the Beatles changed my way, changed everybody's way, and so the rest is history. Whatever I did in my life, fashion, photography, um, documentaries, and so on, was on the basics how you compose in that time. And has been a quite a remarkable life here in America. 15 years in Miami, which I did music, and I created my still I created the art to wear. That I had almost 18 years as a fashion designer, and then I moved to Quebec, which was the explosion and the opportunity to be accepted by the Coopérative de Petit Champlain. And mostly I did 10 years in Quebec. And then out of the success of Quebec, I moved into Vancouver, was incredible. It was incredible. The years in 94, let's say, where the Japanese tourists used to buy the whole town, if you want.
Mm-hmm.
So it was incredible. And but everything changed in a fire that I had here in Vancouver in around 20, 21 years ago, and when I escaped with my little life and my guitar and my laptop out of where a house of artists here in West Bender, changing my life for completely. And, uh, and I decided to what I want to do best, what it feels my soul, was what it was music, and also continue sort of a kind like what's your calling love? It's just photography was excellent for me because it was a way to capture all that nature of Vancouver. And all of a sudden, I was in Cuba, and I asked her, "Do you have more pictures of Cuba?" No, no, we have postcards. And a Mexican friend, Marcos, who passed away, he says, "Why don't you do a copy? Why don't you do a book about Vancouver? And that would be your sample about and show everybody what you know how to do." I went ahead. 2 years after, I came up with that, and opened me the doors for Cuba with the Cuban government, and also at the same time with the Mexican, with the consul general at the time, Bernice Diaz Ceballos, who really was an inspiration and gave me my first letter to go to Mexico to do a trial. And because I've been an actor for commercial for almost 5 years, gave me the money to go to Mexico and do it. So and since that moment, I've been 7 years. I'm planning, fractionating the idea. We got COVID, and mostly this is one of my largest projects ever, which is a 280-day tour around the country on the 32 states of Mexico, and it goes to it's just incredible 280 days when 20 people, three vehicles, and
Okay,
trying to see.
I'm just gonna share a picture of your graphic here for your Beauty of Mexico here.
Yeah, that is my co-presenters, and this is going to be a publication. We will be totally bilingual, and we'll be presenting the arts and landscapes of Mexico. We want to present now that you are putting the ladies there. Just to your left, you have Sonny Garza, who will be is a specialist in Mexican food. Marta Alicia Martinez, who will be in charge of presenting ecologies, churches, and curiosities. I'll be doing culture and landscape. Janet Cuevas will do fashion and arts, and Maritina Kausam will do the music and arts in Mexico. And that we have a 45-minute episode, and we will do 32 episodes. And it is a really an outstanding piece of culture there, because we don't want to get involved with politics, nothing like that. My mission is to show what North America doesn't see. It is the culture of Mexico, who has an ancient civilization with the Mayas and so on, and all the artists. It's just and believe me, the landscapes are just gorgeous things. And believe me, I've been 7 years of research and research and research, and most of all, having the vision to do it. In this
It
kind of project, you always deal with two things: with the vision and your mission. The vision is how you see it put put together. Your mission is to get it done. And I look at a team of 20 people who are really amazing, amazing artists, and we will go to with that bus, which is an office. It's an office. It's divided in two, and mostly will allow us to keep working while we're traveling. It's an amazing bus. Oh, it's just
Incredible. And all the artwork on there, did you design all that and everything on the bus? And
Yeah, mostly with the help of Irving Cano, which is a muralist from Oaxaca in the south of Mexico, and really an inspiration. This kid, and mostly we with his permission we use his heart. We that for us is our brand and is the represent the Mexican heart and being very successful so far. And
so how far along are you with the project now? You've been working at this for a long time, and I know you and I have spoken about it over the years as well. And so how far along are we? I know you've got the book, you've got a number of pages done for that. And what about the series itself? Where are we at with that?
well, it's just that everything is planned. Everything is from itineraries who took us a year and a half during COVID. We keep working, going with the help of the bus company and film offices in Mexico in order to go to the right places and go to with caution, to avoid any problems, anything. Just going to capture culture. We are not politics, and that's our mission. And so far, we started with 300,000 as a budget, and all of a sudden we were supposed to have hotels and accommodations and meals and so on. But with COVID, everything disappeared, and the cost of everything went to the roof. And right now, I'm about 3 million US for this project, and believe me, it's not that much money for the size and the projections of this project. It's just it is what it is. It's just all of a sudden we discovered that it, it is a in order. My formula is film and process it immediately. We have a system in place, and where we'll be having the 32 episode already in the can, what he calls in the business, already photographed. In my latest trip to Mexico, I discovered an amazing facilities. It's a movie complex in the Mexico City called Churubusco Studios, which they have the best. It's the same thing to be in LA, let's say. These people, they have the TX and THX um, mixing consoles, and they have a mixing before they go to the final. And believe me, I was in tears just to just to imagine all what it is in my head, see it on screen, is how I'm going to sound and
Yeah.
how it's going to sound. It just these people, they have, it's like when you're in a movie theater, when a car goes to the left and a car, and you feel it, and you feel your voice, and it just, every voice, that I've been choosing from for the girls and myself, they're gonna sound like an amazing experience. And also we were in a sound stage, and where we'll be recording our symphonic orchestras for the theme, for the main theme, and for the music for the trailer. And another experience. You'll be able to see, wow, this is how it's going to happen. I never, in my wildest dream, that I'd be able to, and I was invited by just by, by a courtesy of the director of permits Mexico, to go and visit to uh, uh, a little reunion of cinematographers who do um, tourist photography and cinematography. And but it was absolutely amazing. This trip was like a going to encountering your destiny. It was absolutely fantastic. The 5 days that I was in Mexico City, everything was gathering together, like in the most. significant experience that I had in Mexico City was to visit La Guadalupe, the Basilica, the Church of Guadalupe. It was, I'm a believer, and I felt a force so big here. Every time that I talk about it, is like I was 80% of the visit crying because I was overwhelmed. And because I heard all my life about La Guadalupe, and just to be in front of that, and that magnificence and the serenity, it just, believe me, it changed my life. It changed, believe me, it changed for good.
It sounds amazing.
Oh, it just, and right now I'm planning to do a special for television, um, doing a half an hour with the Philharmonic Orchestra, with a choir, an incredible choir called the from the choir of from Bellas Artes in Mexico, which is it's an amazing choir, and we will do four songs, and which will be, believe me, these four songs. Uh, I've been on the work for 10 years.
Wow.
Why everything together now? You know, for example, like the song, the main song for the piece or the Guadalupe, it had been a song that I was sung in my school. The second, Thanks to Life, it's a song that talks about being thankful to God and to whatever we have today. And the hymn of happiness, hymn to the joy, which is Beethoven ninth, and it just who talks about the love between people, that what brothers will become again brothers. And I did a medley for Cuba, who I wanted to show the quality of Cuban musicians. Almost, I was just thinking the other day, I've been ringing that selection of music for 10 years. And right now, all of a sudden,
Nuance.
okay, everything is ready. Okay, you can do it.
A success overnight, right?
Oh, it just, I was, believe me, some mornings here in my studio, when things come up, I burst in tears because I'm so used to having no or slam at the door in your face, and the no, okay, not possible, no, 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 and all of a sudden we have a spiritual yes, and from
Well, let's talk about that because you have worked very hard at this over the years, and I know you've had a lot of doors slammed in your face.
yes,
I know you dealt with a lot of people. I can remember you dealing with the Mexican embassy here and getting support from hotels in Mexico. So, what has that journey been like, and getting support or trying to get support, and where is that coming from now?
oh well, right now the only thing uh is how can I put it to you? The Mexican government changed every 4 years, and mostly half of the country change every 4 years. So let's say you have four here, and all of a sudden, another in the middle of the other two, you change again on the other on the rest of the state.
Right?
So whoever you talk to for support is changed. So
Because you have to go to every province and every area to get permits and all kinds of things, correct?
exactly. So what happened after COVID? I said, well, I think I'm gonna have to do this as a private adventure. No prospect help nobody. Just plan everything, get everything on paper and pictures, and what it's gonna cost. One thing that always is a battle in Mexico: how much it costs. Okay, I need to know how much it costs.
Yeah.
If I don't have the cost, I don't have the plan. so, so the thing is, and I did. So that's why I wound up in 3 million, and it just mostly just do it, and because every government has their own plans. Every ministry has their own plans. So the money that they have available is to use for their plans. This is, in my end, the only help that I can get is security. I mean, police and an army, whatever, will be able to help us to travel around. And
Well, that's important too.
oh yeah, no, it just believe me, it just I'm not afraid. Everybody's oh Mexico and some places so dangerous. Well, let me tell you, my answer is 20 years ago I lost everything. I if God wants to take me tomorrow, okay, let's do it. But in this time, I said I won't be able to govern myself or stop this idea because of fears. If I have fears doing it, those fears they're going to go to the rest of my crew. But I had to look for the safety of my crew to stay in great places, to eat in the best places because we want to photograph the best food ever. And the thing is, I've been so cautious about all these aspects that in the if I can go at night and says I'm putting all these 20 people to risk or or you're okay. I said I'm okay because bus company, film commissions, government, local government will be watching me what I'm doing. And believe me, for every sometimes when you go to a city, you need to have all your permits or you cannot film. The same
Yeah.
thing like here. The same thing like here. You gotta go to City Hall, ask for the permissions, and mostly ask for six motorcycles waiting at each end of the street. The same thing. The same thing. It's the same thing. In the last trip, I met the director of this of all this institution. They said no problem with the security, and mostly will be a lot of help, symbolic or something that won't cost us money.
Hmm.
So okay, more than enough. So I'm okay with that, and mostly in even some alliances that have been showing up. Would it be so difficult to carry on with government? Because paperwork could could slow you down like a nobody's business. But for me, is if I have a clear mind that I have all the resources in my hand to just do it, and most of this is a business like any other. Plan to give to investors a profit, and mostly to get it done, and mostly to get it accomplished across the world. You know, right now with LaRue's uh, publishing company, they will take the book all around Mexico, United States, and South America. Canada, I will try to do with my own distribution here, and in Europe, you don't know the amount of Mexicans in Europe, and this book will be a success between the people who are outside of Mexico, number one. Then in Mexico, it just I tell everybody, um, I have a very sort of a kind of foot on the ground projection of 160,000 books in 3 years.
Well, that's a lot of book.
And but when I was in Quebec, I started printing for almost 3 years. I did some catalog printing of my garments, and mostly they said, "Well, when you're printing a catalog, you will have a 5% return." 5%, yes, you will, and I did. Now with Mexico, we have 140 million Mexicans. We had another 40 million in the United States, and I have another 40 million in who visit Mexico. If I have 1% of all that crowd, I'll be happy retirement.
Nice.
So it all of a sudden when I went to this in my last trip, they said, well, I think you will have a 15%.
That's pretty high, right?
I cannot tell you, my printer in Korea will be printing the whole production for me is for 2 years.
So now you were looking for investment money to get your TV series and everything going.
Yeah.
So what is your pitch to potential investors about how much you're looking for in amounts you're looking for per investor, and what are their expected returns
They expect,
for that investment?
well, our budget is 3 million, okay? 3 million US at a 12% return per year, which is high. But it's just, I don't care to make less money at the beginning. And for my forecast, I can returnable in 3 years. But with my forecast, I want to return it as soon as possible. Why? Because of Canadian tax laws, which is if you return your investment in the first year, your taxation rate lowers down.
Right.
So that's our goal, and believe me, and right after we finish production and the mixing and everything, we will go to a promotion tour, which I will be book signing again, going again around Mexico in 4 months, having a dress exhibition. I'll be from every state. I'll be having two best dresses from the Mexican fashion culture,
Hmm.
and we will put it together in a 64 exhibition. Believe it, that will be worth everything. It's just because the craftsmanship of these dresses are just out of this world.
So,
And
so if you had the $3 million today to go forward to get everything done, I don't think you need to wait till you get it all. But what is the time frame?
well, I just believe me. I tell everybody as soon as you hurry up, that's all is better, because it will take me 9 months to film, four to process, and then right away start my North American tour, and I'll be 2 years, almost a year and a half on the road, which I don't mind because it would be a total pleasure to go see in the same. Believe me, just to see in this book signing, to see that LED the screen right almost in a circular way, to see all the images of all these scenes of it. It's going to be absolutely great. It's just people will come to see this, just to see the show, what it is, to see all that art and all that journey that we did. That is going to be exceptional, really.
Yeah.
It's just it is. It perhaps is the best that I've done in my entire life as an organizer, or as a putting things together, and mostly just I. And also another thing, people ask me, why Mexico? Is it, well, it's because North America doesn't know about the North American culture, unless if you have been a Mexico lover and go around and all that. But if you don't know, the regular Joe doesn't know.
Hmm.
They know the crime or the immigration problems and so on, but doesn't know what I know, what I've seen. You see, and that is the message that is absolutely incredible. And believe me, just I just received on my Korean printer. We were supposed to do two books
Hmm.
like this of 500 pages, and all of a sudden they just come out with an idea to do 4 volumes, and mostly increase the amount of pages and do 4 volumes, and make it bigger, which
Hmm.
allowed me to make it even almost the same feeling of the big book of Vancouver, but shorter, a little
Okay.
bit shorter. And that will give me so much options to design, to put information, and not to be everything so tight. and it just at a price you cannot. I don't know. Uh,
I'm sure
Before
it's pretty reasonable. I've had some dealings with that, and
four volumes,
yeah,
of a thousand pages, $7 US, $8.
wow, holy cow.
You
So,
you can,
so let's just, I know, what about, we've talked before, both in your books and for the episodes for your TV series. What can investors expect also to get? Is there any kind of exposure for investors in any of this product placement, that kind of thing? Are you considering any of that?
of course, we have in every book, and also for major sponsors, they will have exposure in the credits, and also we created a possibility to create. Let's say you put so much money. Let's say you 300,000. Let's say I give you the money back in books if you like for your company. Just because, and also it will be a place. Their name is going to be all over. It's just of course,
Okay. Okay.
so
Great.
it is important to me to recognize, just all the help in mostly in Mexico. And right now is another possibility that in Mexico I'll be able to buy time on television. And mostly buying time on television will be able to help me to pay for my cost, and mostly with all those advertisers, I'll be able to just recoup the money, even in a faster way. So the thing is, I'm planning to go in August again, 17, because there's so many things so positive that I really want to. It's about, I feel in the bottom of my heart, this is the time. You asked me, for example, when I used to talk to you, around 5 years ago, if I
Or
was
longer, I think.
yeah, and I feel that life didn't allow me to do that because it was expecting me to be more complete like I'm today. It's just that when you say I didn't have this and I didn't have that. For example, like all these. For example, I just found out of nowhere this symphonic director who want to put a symphonic orchestra in the Basilica of Guadalupe, just like that, just like that. And when you see how this happened now, and and that is a secret, the presentation for you for television in the studios, mix in the studios that you need to have in order to sound like a big production. You see,
Hmm.
like you are in Hollywood. That's the way the platforms want to see you. They don't want to, I did all my samples, for example, with my XLR cameras and a drone, okay, a little drone. But right now, I want to have my Phantom 5, my uh, the best drone in the business, uh,
Hmm. Yeah.
state of the art cameras to be look like a movie. You see, and all that investigation have been a process, a whole process, and it's. I think I'm privileged to have all that material to put together to make this happening. So it's just, and also at the same time, I want to create with these investors, create a third company in which all these funds will be administered by both companies, the investors and myself. So, and we have a controller. So I don't have two people; they have the spending and the receiving in all these investments and results. So just that was one of the key things that I'm offering to invest.
So, any final words you'd like to, or wisdom you'd like to impart on our list for our listeners to listen to, or investors, or anything else you'd like to say?
Pray for me, please. Pray
Well,
for me. Pray for me.
it's always been a pleasure for me to speak with you. I really enjoy your passion and recently I've had the opportunity to meet a lot more of Latin American people
Yeah.
at various events, and they all seem to share that same passion and vision to get ahead. They're very accommodating people, and I really enjoy that. And I always enjoy you as well. So,
Oh, thank you.
and where is the best? Oh, sorry, that was supposed to be off. Sorry about that.
We are celebrating already.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll have to see if I can edit that out of there. I apologize for that. I thought I turned it off. So where was I with that? So where can we find out more information about your project? Where can people go?
They can go to the beauty of Mexico.com,
Hmm.
and also they can call me at 604-719-5414, and
Okay.
I'll be and I have everything laid out and everything. Even right now, one of them, I was so happy to pass an examination by the British Columbia Small Business Administration, and where they took a look at my forecast and my business plan, and I passed with brilliant colors.
That's
And
wonderful.
uh, and mostly my cash flow performer, which is it was a little nightmare because I had to have a 3 year projection, and uh, and and I had it, and I had it. Believe me, I've been going with such a dedication to this project. It is good when a third party could take a look at your thing and says you're okay. Now we
Yes.
need people who can. Uh, One very important thing: people will be able to resonate this idea. What I'm trying to do, it
Yes.
resonates to help culture, to do something for posterity. It's just that because this this Beauty of Mexico will help the infrastructure. You know, Mexico, even if it's 140 million, they're always going to need help. There's a lot of money in Mexico, let me tell you. A lot of money in Mexico.
Yes.
There's a lot of infrastructure. But there's a still there's room for people to go and see, to go and invest, to go and invest in retirements and stuff. But they gotta shower themselves with all this culture. So he says, okay, where I'm gonna go.
That's
So
exactly what you're going to show them.
exactly, exactly,
Exactly. So,
and believe me, sometimes um, they say, okay, think about how much money you can make with this project. Yes, yes, I've been calculating that, but it's not my. How can I put it? I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. But the thing is that when you do things from the heart, money shows. That's all what I
it
can
may
say.
take a while though.
Uh, but the thing is I'm taking calculated risk. I'm taking mostly, believe me, I'm doing it with all this promotion, with all what I'm doing. I'm trying to always to put myself a soft pillow that I can guarantee my investors. That's number one, because if I don't think that way, uh, but the thing is I do it because I don't know, as a human being, I want to leave something behind. Perhaps at 73, how much gas I gas in my tank? Another 10, 15 years. But I think in the next 7 years I will be out of my really very best, and I want to do it, and I feel the strength, and I feel like amazing. I feel
Well, you've been
amazing.
very, very, very dedicated, and you're fine. Looks like you're finally going to get there, and I wish you all the success, and I'm very happy to see that. And we'll put the links at the end of this podcast to the Beauty in Mexico and your telephone number so people can get a hold of you.
Yes.
And uh, thanks very much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank
Like I said, we've known each other for several years now, and this is a good opportunity for me to talk to you again and find out where you're at.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
folks, thanks very much for listening to this podcast for Key Business Connect, and please stay tuned for further episodes coming in the near future.